Hey guys, can you hear me? Hello. It's kind of like I can see, but I can't see. Hold on. I can. Oh, I can hear myself. Okay, good. I've kind of got my mobile here to try to see if I can figure this out. But now, yeah, you see a black screen. Okay, hang on. Oh, screen share. Mm-hmm. Okay, share that. Okay, can you see my screen now? She probably can't see me on the webcam. Hang on. Change. Okay, cool. You could probably hear my chats coming in. I don't know. Hang on. What I wanted to try was if I could, but why can't I get there? Hang on a second. Give me a minute. I figured. I'm going to have to figure out how to turn that off eventually. Maybe if I just remove it, right? And quit. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is going to be fun. Hang on just a second, and I'm gonna put my camera. We'll try my camera. I'm just messing around here. Hang on. All right, so you should see my camera now too, right? Okay, cool. So this is really weird because I'm kind of looking at two different screens. So I apologize in advance because I'm brand new to this. Sweet. Okay, so today what I wanted to do, and I don't know if this is going to work. So Sugar Bee, my friend, if I put this to presentation mode, are you still seeing the first screen here, the weekly meal prep? Or are you seeing the slides? You guys are still seeing the slides on the side, aren't you? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, that may be my problem from before. All right, so let me. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to escape out of this. There we go. Okay, so I think what I'll do is just run through this presentation. Oh, you didn't see? Okay, there might be a latency. Okay. I got to get used to this stuff. All right. Somebody's going to look at this later and go, what the heck? Or maybe I'll delete it. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if you just see the first screen and no slides on the left. Because I switched back and now I'm back to where I was before, and you're like, yeah, I can see it. So while I'm waiting to see if that worked, I'm just going to get started here. So I've had a challenge in the past. Perfect. I had a challenge in the past to bring weekly meal prep to 2 hours or less. And so that is, I've had a few of these weeks where I've done this in the past. And last week I actually did this in 2 hours, 6 minutes, 17 seconds, and I made 7 meals. So I wanted just to run through this so you can have an idea of what I made, how I executed it. And, you may not like these meals. That's okay. But it was just a really cool experiment. And I thought that I would share with everybody today. So let's get started. On the menu today, I have spaghetti squash, taco salad, Parmesan chicken, pizza casserole, and then my lunches will be cauliflower soup, broccoli soup, and salad. Okay. Yes, Sugar Bee, I can come to your house and do this. No problem. Um, so these are, again, most of these, I just made them easy just so I can experiment with that and just to kind of figure out like how I would execute this process and make it under 2 hours. I hear a lot from different communities that I have joined, different groups that I've joined in various social media aspects. And people say that meal prep takes forever. And I'm saying it takes me 2 hours. So we're just going to see how this goes. So again, total time, 2 hours, 6 minutes, 17 seconds. So that is my goal here today. So the first thing that I wanted to make was spaghetti squash. So I'm going to kind of run through each of the recipes so you understand what the ingredients are and then how I will execute each of these dishes to make it under 2 hours. So my spaghetti squash, obviously I've got to get a spaghetti squash. And I'm going to just get some spaghetti sauce. It could be anything. And then ground beef or ground turkey and cheese is optional. And just to let you all know, I'm on a restricted diet right now, so I can't have a whole lot of stuff. But these ingredients I can have minus the cheese, which is why I say it's optional. But I am going to put cheese on mine for like 3/4 of it. So I will make 2 servings without cheese, and the rest will be with cheese because that's what the family likes. And then the second meal will be taco salad. Again, this is super easy, right? So ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken, doesn't matter what you use, any taco seasoning, or you can make your own. And then a salad, which I will show you how I prep all of that because I make several salads for the week. And then my Parmesan chicken, I will have some olive oil, Parmesan cheese. Again, since I can't have that, I am substituting that for hemp heart seeds. This was a new one for me, maybe about a week or so ago. I tried these, and they're actually pretty good. So with that, we'll have Italian seasoning, and either you can choose chicken thighs or breasts. The pizza casserole, I use a cauliflower rice. I actually use frozen for that. And then I use some pesto, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, green pepper, pepperoni, and cheese. And then my soups, my cauliflower soup and my broccoli soup, they're pretty much made exactly the same, except you switch the cauliflower and the broccoli for either or. So carrot, celery, onion, green pepper, and then I put some coconut milk in there and some chicken bouillon as well. Never heard of heart seeds. Yeah, me neither until a couple of weeks ago. You'll have to check that out. So again, broccoli soup, same thing. We're just switching out the cauliflower with the broccoli. And my salads, I keep my salads simple. I just have spinach, green onions, cucumbers, and tomatoes in mine. Obviously, you can have whatever in yours, but that's kind of what my salads look like. All right, so here's the execution. How am I going to get all of these done in less than 2 hours? Or 2 hours, what did I say? 2 hours, 6 minutes? Something like that. Anyway, so let's go ahead. So first things first, spaghetti squash. If you've ever had spaghetti squash, you know that this guy is tougher than nails. You cannot, at least I can't. I cannot cut this thing when it's at its original state. So in the past, I have tried to microwave it first or put it in a crock pot. And most recently, I've been using my Instapot, and that's what I'm going to use today. So I'm just going to put it in my Instapot with about a cup of water, set it to manual, and I put it in for 30 minutes, but just as a note, it probably would have been best if I kept it at about 20 minutes. So while that's going in the Instapot, I'm going to chop up my vegetables for the soup. So here's all my vegetables laying out on my counter. We're going to get those chopped up, and then we're going to put them in the soup pots. So I've got 2 big pots. I put some olive oil in each. I'm going to saute the onions, green pepper, celery, and carrots. And then I'm going to add, once all that's warmed up and soft, I'm going to add a can of coconut milk and 2 chicken bouillon cubes and 4 cups of water to both pots. And then I'm going to bring that to a boil. So once the water and everything is boiling, I'll add the cauliflower and the broccoli to each pot and let that simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes until they get soft. So while all that is going, it's time for Parmesan chicken. And this is super, super easy. So I'm going to have a bowl of the olive oil. And then a bowl with the hemp heart seeds and some Italian seasoning, probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons of that in that bowl. And then my third bowl will be about a cup of Parmesan cheese with that Italian seasoning, again, about 1 to 2 teaspoons. And you just kind of mix it together in those bowls. And then you will take your chicken. In this case, I used chicken breast tenderloins. Sometimes I will use chicken thighs. I don't tend to use the chicken breast as a whole. To me, that, I don't know why, but they always come out dry. So I try to get the smaller cuts in there, and it just is more juicy. So once you get all of those coated, you put that in the baking dish. And the day that you will eat this, you'll set your oven to 425, stick it in there for 35 minutes, and now you got your chicken done. But this is all you do for the prep. You get all that coated, you stick a lid on it, you're done. All right, so at this time, the soup should be done. So you can move the pots to the back of the stove and get out a couple of pans and then start frying your sausage and the ground beef. Sorry, how many days can you leave the chicken in the fridge before baking? I usually leave, well, in this case, I actually had my chicken on Thursday and I made this on Sunday. So I probably wouldn't go past about 7 days to leave it in the fridge. And it may matter. It may, because I don't tend to like to leave my food in the fridge for longer than about 7-8 days. But if I have my, depending on the type of casserole dish that I have, most of them have those lids that will snap on pretty tight. That can last longer, where if you just put aluminum foil or like the clingy wrap stuff, that may not last as long, in my opinion. All right, so now at this time, I'm going to get my turkey sausage in there and my ground beef. I thought I had some ground turkey in the freezer, but no, I didn't. So I just took out some ground beef. So I've got the sausage going and the ground beef going all at the same time. So while that's cooking, I'm going to put my bag of frozen cauliflower rice in the microwave for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to transfer that or pour it into my food processor, and then put some coconut milk in there and put it on high and let that just go. So while that's going, I'm going back and forth, checking on the meats, checking on the food processor, and making sure that everything is looking good. All right, so at this point, my meat's settled, so I'm going to turn down the heat of that meat. And so I can get the rest of this prep done for the casserole, for the pizza casserole. This is what we're doing right now. So the cauliflower is done. So I'm going to spread that into a 9x13 pan, and it looks like mashed potatoes, right? So you're just going to let that go, just spread it across there. And now I can go back and concentrate on the meat. So at this time, everything should be done. So for the ground turkey, I'm basically turning that completely off. And for the ground beef, I'm going to start adding in my taco seasoning. And you can use like a prepackaged taco seasoning, or you can make your own. I thought I had taco seasoning in a package. I did not. So I'm making my own, just using cumin, chili powder, and garlic powder. And I wish I would have um, uh, saved like exactly the measurements of this, but it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to put like a tablespoon of each, maybe not each, okay, because you don't want to do that with chili powder. But yeah, a tablespoon of cumin, maybe a teaspoon of chili powder, and maybe a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then you just have to mix it in and start tasting and make sure that it's to your liking. So once the ground beef is done, honestly, right now, you're done with that. So you're going to put that in a casserole dish or something to where you can save it in the fridge. And so we had Taco Tuesdays. So on Tuesday, we're going to take this out. We're going to put it in the oven for 350 for 30 minutes. And you're going to hear some dogs go crazy, I think, here in a minute. This is what makes live streaming so awesome. So, so now everything, the meat part is done. So I'm going to start making the meat or the pizza sauce. And all that is some tomato paste, a little jar of pesto, some coconut cream, and diced tomatoes. So you're just going to mix all that up and get it warm. And then I'm going to add some oregano and basil. And again, these recipes are actually out there. This particular one's on ruled.me. So unfortunately, and now I know better. For next time, I will put the actual measurements in here. But I'm going to add my spices, give it a little taste test, make sure everything looks good. And then I'm going to turn that off and pour it on the mashed cauliflower that is sitting there waiting patiently for me to do something with that mashed cauliflower in that casserole dish. Okay, so this is actually a great picture of looking at almost the final product. So after I put the sauce on, I actually added some of that that turkey sausage in there. Now, turkey sausage for me, I cannot get that ground up enough. I don't know what it is about turkey sausage. So they come out in larger chunks, and you'll see that here in a little bit. So I only put that in various places. So I did that, and then I added some green pepper, and then I put some pepperoni on it, and then you can see here I put some cheese on that as well. And so then you're going to cover that up too and stick it in the fridge until you're ready to eat. I think we had this one on Friday, which is totally fine. It will actually probably last in the fridge until you bake it for a few days after that even. So, but when you're ready to eat it, you just stick it in the oven for about 30 minutes at 350, and you are good to go. Okay, literally almost everything is done. We're going to concentrate on the spaghetti squash now. At this point, I think I'm about an hour 30 in. I should have put a little timer here to tell you where I'm at. But when I took out the spaghetti squash from the Instapot and I started cutting it with the knife, it almost like it caved in because it was too soft. So that's why I said you might want to back that up to about 20 minutes instead of going for the whole 30. But at this point, you just scoop out that top layer, get rid of all the seeds, and then I have a spoon that is usually for grapefruit. It's got those little edges on the top of it. And I use that to scrape out my spaghetti squash. And you can see here I put it in a casserole dish, and it's ready to go here. It's actually really soft as well. It's just like spaghetti noodles. So now that that's there, I'm going to transfer the rest of the turkey sausage in this casserole dish. Pour the spaghetti squash over it, or spaghetti squash, good Lord, spaghetti sauce over it. Mix it all in. And I didn't put cheese in mind, but when it's time to bake, we'll probably just put cheese again on about 3/4 of it so I can have a couple of servings without the cheese. So that will go in for at 350 for 30 minutes. And so you're done with that one. So guess what? Now we're time for salad prep. And this probably is the most time consuming of all of this. So again, here are the vegetables that I use for my salads. You very well could use different ones, but what I start out doing is taking that baby spinach and chopping that up, and then I put it into all of those containers that you see. So there's 6 of them there, and then a big container on the left. And so I'll use the smaller containers for lunches and the bigger ones for dinners. So then I don't have to worry about making salads throughout the week for any dinner prep. So one of the things I did want to point out too, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird, but I use the mini cucumbers in mine, and I put them in quarters and then I chop them up. I always say I love the big cucumbers as well, but I'm like, do I really need that big size? No. So I usually cut mine up pretty small, and then I can transfer that throughout each of those containers. All right, so at this point, we're all done. I'm going to close all these up with lids, put them in the fridge. We're done with salad prep. All right, so what about that soup? That soup's been sitting there, right? So we're going to transfer those into some Tupperware containers. I really actually need to get some different containers, but this is what I had for now. I've got probably 4 here that are for lunch size. They're about 2 cups worth of soup that I had lids for. Those taller ones in the back, for some reason, I don't know where those lids went. So I'm just going to cover those up with some aluminum foil and sticking them in the back. But when I'm done with my 4 days of soup here for lunch, I will just basically take 2 ladles full and repurpose these little smaller ones, smaller containers, and take those to lunch. So honestly, I've got about 6, 8, 10, about maybe 10 to 12 servings here. Yes, lids disappear. They're kind of like socks, right? You never know where they go. So I've got about, I think I said 6 to 8 servings here. So that'll last me for quite some time. And since it's just me, because I'm the only one who eats this soup, I may take even a couple and freeze them. But knowing me and how much I love to eat soup throughout the week, I'm probably going to eat all this. So we're just going to let that go for now. So I had a timer going on my cell phone. And so this is literally at the end of all of this. This is what my time came out to be. So 2 hours, 6 minutes, 17 seconds, 22 milliseconds. How cool is that? And now I'm ready to go back to the pool. So I don't have to think about any of food any longer. There are a few dishes and cleanup that is necessary. It may take about, 10 minutes if you have children, which I do. And I definitely did volunteer them to help me with the dishes so it didn't take so long for the cleanup. But that is it, you guys. That's the end of the story. So if there's any questions or anything that you have, chat me. I mean, this is so fun. We're going to keep doing some of these videos going forward. I have probably a backlog of about 5 different ones I'm going to post. Yeah, this is kind of what I do on a weekly basis. And I don't like to cook throughout the week. So I like to get all my stuff done. And Sundays are usually my day. And then I can enjoy the rest of my weekend. So, all right, you guys. Awesome. Thanks, guys. All right.